Welcome to the spoken tutorial on finding and evaluating modules. In this tutorial, we will learn to search for a module and evaluate a module. To record this tutorial, I am using Ubuntu Linux operating system, Drupal 8, and Firefox web browser. You can use any web browser as per your choice. Earlier in the series, we've talked about extending a website through modules. And we have covered some of the modules that come with Drupal. We've even installed the module devel earlier in this course. But now we'll understand how to evaluate and find great modules. Let's go to drupal.org/project/modules. There are almost 18,000 modules available for Drupal here. Please note that a Drupal module only works for the version of Drupal that it's intended for. So, we have to update the core compatibility to the version of Drupal we're using. This tutorial has been recorded before the release of Drupal 8. If we look for Drupal 8, we see only 1000 modules that match our search. For this demo, I'll switch back to Drupal 7 in order to show you some great things about modules. Click Search. And there are 11,000 modules for Drupal 7. That's a huge difference. With time, we will see the number of Drupal 8 modules rapidly increase. Meanwhile, let's learn how to evaluate good modules. On this page, let us filter on the core compatibility of the version of Drupal we are using. The list is sorted by most installed or most popular. Chaos Tools Suite or CTools and Views are the all-time popular modules for Drupal. Let's click on Views. There's a simple 3-step approach to evaluating a good module. Suppose we go to the licensing bureau to get a new license to drive or register a car. In most US states, it's called DMV or Department of Motor Vehicles. So, we'll keep that in mind, DM and V. D stands for documentation, M stands for maintainers, and V stands for versions. Look at the information given under the project information and downloads. Let's start with D. Views is the second most popular module of all time. In fact, it's been incorporated into Drupal 8 and we've actually used views a lot in this course. There is no other shortcut in open source to understand whether a module is right or not except to read the documentation. Always read the documentation to know what a module does. Read the documentation to know what the issues are. How do we know there's help available? Read the documentation. Once we install a module, we should read the documentation to know which parts to turn on. Reading the documentation is extremely important. Please note, in open source, there is no one to sue if a module destroys your site. You have to read the documentation and determine whether the module is compatible with what you've done on your site already. So, I can't emphasize it enough. Read all this information by clicking on the documentation link, the issue queue, and the bug reports to find out what is in this module. So, that's the D. The M stands for maintainers. This particular module was started by Merlin of Chaos. Now, when we click on his name, it takes us to his Drupal profile. Later in the course, we will learn how to have our own Drupal profile. Here we see that Earl Miles is a big contributor to the Drupal project, over 6,300 commits. And he is the main creator of Chaos Tools and Views. There are a number of other maintainers for this particular module. With modules, you might just see one person maintaining it, or you might see a group of people maintaining a module. Both are okay. But say a module happens to be mission critical and the maintainer is unable to continue with it. Then we might be in trouble. So, That's something to consider. Finally, at the bottom is the project information and versions, or our V. The maintenance status of V is right now seeking co-maintainers. We need not worry. Views has already been incorporated into Drupal 8. So, they're probably just looking for some help there. It's under active development. It's on almost 1 million sites. And the stats show 7.6 million downloads already. Now, this is important. If a project says abandoned or I've given up, then avoid using that module. You won't see that very often, however. Always use a version of the module that is the same as a version of your Drupal installation. There is no Drupal 8 version here because Views is already in core. But if I was installing this on a Drupal 7 site, I would not click on this link. It will take us to a node that gives detailed information about this module. Instead, right-click on the tar or the zip and click on Copy Link. This was mentioned earlier when we installed Devel. How do we determine if a module is right for us? As simple as DMV. One of the frequently asked questions is how does one find a module? One option is to go to drupal.org/project/module and filter by core compatibility categories, of which there are many. Otherwise, it is impossible to find modules that we need at drupal.org. If you are good at it, you will be able to find them. But new users might get confused with the number of modules listed there. Again, the question will be, which module is right for me? Google is your friend. If you're looking for a Drupal module with a date field, then just type Drupal module date. And the first thing that comes up is a date module. We know that because the URL is drupal.org/project/date. What if we need a rating system? Type Drupal module rating system. Now, we get two options here. The 5-star rating module or the star rating module. So, we have two modules that we can look at to determine which one might be better for us. What about if we need a web form? Again, type Drupal module web form. And we get a project name web form. This is probably the best way to find modules for beginners. Drupal module and a description of what we need our module to do. I hope that's been helpful. Remember, to find modules, Google is your friend. And to understand which module is best for you, remember DMV. With this, we come to the end of this tutorial. Let us summarize. In this tutorial, we have learned to search for a module and evaluate a module. This video is adapted from Acquia and OS Training and revised by Spoken Tutorial Project IIT Bombay. The video at this link summarizes the Spoken Tutorial project. Please download and watch it. The Spoken Tutorial project team conducts workshops and gives certificates. For more details, please write to us. Spoken Tutorial project is funded by NMEICT, Ministry of Human Resource Development, and NVLI, Ministry of Culture, Government of India. This is Vanessa Workey signing off. Thanks for joining.